How do you like your eggs in the morning? Well, I certainly don't ask for the egg to be in a moon shape. That's for sure. Hello, my fellow Whovians and subscribers, and welcome to my latest Doctor Who review, where today I review Series 8, Episode 7 of the new series of Doctor Who, starring Peter Capaldi as the 12th Doctor, Kill the Moon. Written by Peter Harness and directed by Paul Wimhurst. And the plot of Kill the Moon is as follows. The Doctor, Clara, and Courtney go visit the moon in 2049, where they discover that the Earth's constant companion is a little more than another mere celestial body. Kill the Moon. Well, I went back to this story having not seen it after quite a number of years, and I couldn't honestly remember much about the story from my first viewing. So I kind of went into this kind of semi-blind, and honestly, watching this story, it was really disappointing. Yeah, I'm very conflicted with this story because, on the one hand, I quite like the first half of it. I think the first half of it is really good and very suspenseful. It's what Doctor Who should be. But then the second half, that twist, what were they thinking? As soon as we get halfway through the story, where we discover that twist, that, spoiler alert, the moon is an egg. I saw that and I was just... What? I mean, what in God's name? Who in God's name thought of that ludicrous twist? I mean, what the hell? It's got dumb with a capital D written all over it. And the whole story was this creature living inside the moon, which was an egg, hatching, and it's some dragon bird-like creature. It makes no friggin' sense. It really doesn't. Because of that, the second half of the story falls completely flat on its arse. They try to raise the stakes with the Doctor and Clara getting into a bit of a conflict. Well, the Doctor puts the humans in a bit of a difficult position. They have to make a choice of whether to kind of save the Earth and save humanity or let the creature live. And that choice really affects Clara quite emotionally. But weirder than that is that the Doctor basically fucks off and leaves. Yeah, in a really out-of-character moment, the Doctor just buggers off and he leaves them to it. On the one hand, yes, okay, it's not his planet, they're not his people, he wants humanity to make the decision. But at the same time, I can kind of understand why Clara's a bit upset, because it's like, oh, what a dick move to just kind of leave like that, and just fuck off in the TARDIS and then reappear at the end. But, yeah... What they were trying to go for was this kind of Fires of Pompeii situation where it was a big historical moment. The Doctor felt he couldn't get involved and he went away. But they didn't play it so much from the emotional angle until Clara got upset towards the end. And this is the story, my friends, where I start to dislike Clara a little bit. Granted, I don't hate Clara, but... oh, God, the scene at the end where she rants at the Doctor, it's just so over the top. Granted, I understand why she's upset, and I think that is a fundamental conflict. But surely, the Doctor needed to have involvement in the decision. He just buggered off. I think a better conflict would have been if the Doctor and Clara disagreed about which way to go. If, say, Clara was to save, the humanity, whereas the Doctor could have said, oh, we'll save the creature and let it live. That could have been the conflict, instead of the Doctor buggering off and leaving Clara, Courtney, and the other character to deal with that. Because it just, the whole thing, I didn't feel the stakes, I didn't feel the drama, and I didn't feel like it was earned. I didn't feel like Clara's rant was earned. I thought it was over the top. And this is kind of cutting to the heart of my problem with Stephen Moffat as a writer, because He just can't write female characters. He just can't. The way he writes Clara in this episode is that she's a control freak. You know, she says to the Doctor, "Shut up," you know, and just fly away in your TARDIS, and you know, she starts telling him what to do, and it gets really annoying. I mean, this isn't the worst we'll see of Clara, but this is, for me, you know, potentially where Clara should have left. I think this conflict, if the conflict was written better, this could have been a really powerful yet heartbreaking exit for Clara. And then she tells Danny about it, and she's like, "No, I'm done with all this, I'm just done with that old man." And Danny kind of is there watching her and comforting her as she's saying all this. But of course we know she's not done. She's got to the end of the series to go, and then of course she'll stay in series 9. But this is where I think, as well, with Clara, they're kind of running out of ideas. They're not sure what to do with her. And granted, like I said, I can understand part of the emotional turmoil that she's going through, and the decision that caused the tension between her and the Doctor. But yeah, I can't lie to you. I hated that scene where she was ranting at him. I just hated it. I thought it was so over the top. And the Doctor leaving like that was out of character. I don't care what anyone says. The Doctor, first and foremost, cares about humanity. In the Fires of Pompeii, it made more sense because they played it from the emotional perspective that the Doctor had no choice but to leave because it was an important moment in history. But Donna felt very emotional about leaving the people to die. This didn't have quite the same level as that, but that's what this needed. That's what this story needed. It needed that, you know, the emotional drama to be kind of the forefront of the story, but it wasn't. It was a mess, quite frankly. To be fair, I like the acting in the story. It's passable enough. Like despite the fact that I hate Clara's rant, you know, Jenna Coleman is doing a good job as Clara. I like her in this story. And Capaldi as the Doctor is good. He's starting to get a little bit more comfortable now. And certainly towards the end when he's smiling at Clara and he's bulging his eyes out, he's kind of doing a little bit of Tom Baker there. And he's still got that kind of darker side coming out as well. Much like sort of Sylvester McCoy and like William Hartnell and all of that. So he is trying to channel the other Doctors, but he's kind of discovering his Doctor in this first series that he's in, which is interesting. But again, I'm so torn with this story. It like the first half of it is good, but the second half is a mess. It really is. After that twist, it just falls apart. I have to say though, the spiders were quite cool. I did quite like the spiders, and they were freaky. And I think honestly, surely the creature inside the egg would have been a massive space spider or something, like, rather than this bird dragon thing that was was living in there, and then it hatched and it laid another egg. It was just really stupid. The scene where they go into the cave and they come across the spiders, you know, that was freaky. That's probably the best scene in the story because it has that genuine tension, and it is nice to see Peter Capaldi wearing the orange spacesuit that David Tennant wore, and to a lesser extent Matt Smith wore. So it was nice to see that, and the production values look great. It looks aesthetically pleasing. The set is pretty good for a TV budget, and the visual effects are quite good as well. And of course, Murray Gold's music never fails to disappoint. One other criticism I would have of the story is the character of Courtney. Like, I don't hate the character, but she has no relevance to the story. Like, why is she in this episode? She does not need to be there. Why did they focus on her during the caretaker? Why did they focus on her here? I'm sorry, I just don't know why. Like, I think Capaldi's a good Doctor, but I feel like the majority of this series, he's been let down by some bad writing. I can't deny. Series 8 is not shaping up well for me. It really isn't. There's like one or two good stories that I've liked so far, but there's no direction. And this is part of my problem with this story. Is like, it feels like almost two stories in one. It feels like the story was going in one direction and then it veered into another. And ultimately, the plot is silly. It's just really silly, and the emotional drama just doesn't work for me because of that twist and the fact that the Doctor and Clara, you know, that the whole conflict is not. It kind of comes out of nowhere, really. You know, the Doctor making that decision to just fuck off and leave, and then Clara getting all upset and angry and then ranting. It just comes out of fucking nowhere. And again, that twist is just so bizarre that, you know, what? I have no words for how unbelievably stupid that is. Also, shout out to Hermione Norris, who plays Lundvik, the other female astronaut who's in the story. Yeah, she's alright. She's quite good. I think she is a suitably solid character. Also, shout out to Phil Nice as Henry and Christopher Dane as McKean. They're good for the few moments they have. But yeah, I'm sorry, guys. Overall, I think this is a really mixed bag of a story, and it's, disjointed is kind of an understatement to how this story is, and it doesn't really go anywhere. And again, it's dumb. It's really stupid. That whole twist just ruins the whole story for me. So I have to be honest, and I have to say that Kill the Moon, I would honestly score it a 5 out of 10. You know, it's all right. I don't hate it. It's just very mediocre. I would not rush back to it at all. But anyway, that's just my opinion. If you like this story, then great. Tell me why down below. Please like and subscribe. Hit the like and subscribe button for more content like this. And stay tuned next time when I review Mummy on the Orient Express. So until next time, I'm Mr. Talus11. Thank you for watching. See ya. Bye for now.